Hello and welcome to Supreme Commander Forge Alliance Forever. This is a game from the King of Seraphim tourney. Not sure exactly what round it is. The players are Blast Shield and Thomas Hyatt. So two very good ladder players. I think Blast Shield's up around 2000 rating. Let's see if he's worth it. He's up against Thomas. And obviously both Seraphim. This is the King of Seraphim tourney. So first land from Blast Shield. Oh, he must have walked because his factory is done later. You can see the score difference is a little bit. So yeah, I think Blast Shield walked. Oh well, second off his build order. So let's see what the plan is. A lot of engineers, 6 engineers before any tank. I think that's very dangerous on this map. The reason it's dangerous is you have to use engineers quite quickly, send them out, because there's reclaim in their buildings and up here, and if you're not defending those engineers, they're probably gonna get killed. Now we do have Seraphim here, so we don't have labs. We do have combat scouts, and they pretty much suck at killing engineers, but you can try. You can certainly annoy your opponent with them. And if you keep microing, you may eventually kill an engineer. So let's see where Blast Shield is headed. It's going here. So often you will see this attack move engineer in front of the base because there's all these rocks on the hill. And yeah, you can see Blast Shield has a guy reclaiming those rocks as well. Down in the plains we have a lot of trees. Tiny little trees and cacti. So the buildings are the main focus at the start of the game. So we also have this mid area with all the civilians. We have 4 T1AA. We have 6 T1 PD and a lot of walls and a lot of buildings. So only some of them have mass in them. And I'm not sure which ones exactly. But some of them have basically nothing. And now here comes Celine, and he's actually going after this attack move engineer. So this guy's going to lose his attack move, and he's down to half HP, or even less now. Celine survives, almost got reclaimed there. You can see it only has 35 HP. In comparison to a lab. Lab will have 70 to 90 HP, I believe. Radar going up to try and see what's happening, but the radar is actually going to die as well to the Celine if he's careful, and he attacks. And the Celine, crucially, why it's so bad at killing engineers is it can only fire in a very small arc. Oh, the terraforming from the radar blocked some shots there. Engineer almost escaped, but Celine actually killed an engineer, so great job there. Thomas has gone second air, and I think, yeah, it must have been third air from Blast Shield because he has no air units out yet, and there's a bomber. Here comes the tank looking for that engineer. Oh no! The tank goes down to a PD. That's pretty bad mistake to make early on in the game. Very painful to lose a tank so early. This engineer looks like he's gonna escape. Oh, maybe not. It's gonna be close. And he goes down. So this mass is gonna be delayed, but up here, same story. The bomber got a kill, an attempted dodge here. Unsuccessfully dodged a bit too soon, I think. The bomber gets 2 kills, and that's okay. Not too bad. Fortunately, Thomas didn't have his Inti in behind his opponent's interceptor. Got to be very careful not to lose your air over the civilians. So there's also a few mechs in mid. We can see the commanders coming. Commanders should come here and reclaim this quite quickly. Thomas gonna farm some kills. It's really bad to lose tanks like this early on. And he linked that up with the tank that died at the top as well, and it's not good. Not good for Blast Shield. We also have expansions up here, a lot of mass, and they're very close together, so they're hard to hold on to. And generally the ACs go to the bottom where you have a bit more open space. It's quite bad to fight on this mountain. It's painful. A lot of shooting the ground happening. So generally people want to come up and build PD here and just kind of hold on, do some raiding. And the mid area should be, well, you need to get rid of the PDs pretty quick and then move in and try and reclaim some buildings, reclaim the PDs and the T1A, build the mexes. And then once the PDs are down, this is a very open corridor to your opponent's side of the map. Thomas wants to get a PD, but there's an ACU shooting it. And he's not going to finish it. I think he should. Should probably have kept building that. Reclaim here still to be grabbed. And Thomas is taking out the PDs in mid now. It can be a good idea to send your ACU straight to mid as well, because the PDs, this PD for example, is not next to a wall, so you can actually just go and shoot it with your ACU, kill it quite easily, or just have a very early RT do it and then go to mid, get the reclaim and get the mexes and secure it with the ACU. Thomas trying to get the gun, and Blast Shield is going to see that that's happening now that he's in range. See the upgrade, and he knows it's not going to be very far done because Thomas was only just walking a moment ago, and now a lot of tanks are in range of Thomas's ACU. He's going to take a lot of damage. Blast Shield should use this opportunity to do as much damage as he can while he's in range. And yes, Thomas cancels, and that was maybe 30% done. Ooh, and a naval factory already gone up for Thomas. That's quite early. On the top we can see Thomas doing a much better job getting his expansion. Some tanks, more tanks for Thomas on the top as well. You want to try and get this reclaim on the mountain here as well quite quickly. And of course the buildings, he's finishing them off now. Looks like Blast Shield has more tanks, maybe. Let's see, 33. Thomas, yeah, he does certainly. A lot of artillery for Thomas, quite a lot. And Seraphim artillery, which is quite expensive. That's a good bomb. Look at how much damage that did. Killed an arty and damaged 5 T1 tanks. 250 damage to each of them. So this naval factory is really expensive at this stage of the game. It's about 240 mass, I believe. No, 300 mass. 240 is the land factory. 300 mass, so that's about 6 tanks, and it's going to make subs, and they're even more expensive, 360 mass. Now subs are nice because, one, if you force an ACU into the water, then you can finish them off with subs and keep them on the land, and also you can surface them as, unless you're Aeon, you can surface the submarine, and it has an even longer range than frigates, and you can attack a lot of mexes along the edge. And this gun upgrade is going to finish this time. He is successful. Blast Shield really wanted him to cancel. Oh, is he stalling? Okay, now it's done, and it's time to chase this ACU away. Now, the thing to do here is target the enemy ACU with the arties, and then run in with the ACU, because when you target with the ACU, target the arties on the ACU, then that prevents the ACU from running away in a straight line. He has to dodge side to side to avoid the artillery shells, and then he can't get away from your ACU. He's going to be in range of your ACU. Now the problem, I think that would have been very, very good because there's actually not that many tanks. Now Thomas is a lot lower on HP and he has almost no army down here, but I think that would have helped him a lot. He has quite a lot of power, so he can overcharge effectively. Blast shield is now going to the gun. Thomas needs to get some more mass. He's very lacking for mass. Lost his expansion at the top. Didn't get any of the reclaim from mid, even though he cleared it out. Cleared out the PDs. And also invested in this naval factory, which is dying to a T1 arty. Just one T1 arty. And Thomas sending most of his tanks to the top, knowing that his ACU can hold on and just farm kills on the bottom side. Still reclaiming these buildings that should be grabbed. See, this has been slightly reclaimed. And things looking good for Thomas. Everything paused for Blast Shield as he tries to get the gun ASAP. Really needs it. Now he still has a very good HP advantage. Thomas has got some of his HP back now that he has 2 vets, and you can see the submarine has a deck gun. There it is. Doing 15 damage per shot, and it has more range than a Seraphim frigate. And on this map you actually need a lot of range because you can't go right up to the shore. It's very shallow, so the boats don't go in. But he lost his naval factory. On this arty has 3 kills and 2 vets. It's killed a couple of mexes and a naval factory. And now we have gun comms facing off against each other. Blast shield with 12,000 HP. Thomas with 9.5. On the top side, neither player able to take their expansion. In mid, nobody doing anything. Tanks could move through here. NGs should be taking reclaim. NGs should be taking mass extractors. But understandably, most of the focus for these guys is on the gun commander battle. And Blast Shield is doing a lot of damage to the ACU, but Thomas is just farming vet all the while, killing a lot of Blast Shield's tanks. Now Blast Shield moves to the units, or not, still killing the commander. Thomas already at 74 kills to Blast Shield's 25. Just think of that differential. 50 tanks, or RTs, or maybe a few Selines in there as well. It's a huge, huge difference. Still, Thomas getting more and more kills and pushing him back. He needs to get as much of this reclaim as possible while he has control of this area. If he gets pushed back, he's going to lose access to that reclaim. And Blast Shield is already reclaiming this battle. As his tanks die, his engineers are reclaiming. And Thomas is being pushed back. But he is very close to another vet. He needs to hang around just long enough to get the next vet level, and then he can continue fighting this ACU. No, come back. He needs 1, maybe 2 kills, and he will have... He'll get back for his 4th vet. He'll get back maybe 5,000 HP. 4,000. Around 4,000 to 5,000 HP, and he'll be back right on even terms with Blast Shield until he gets his next vet. But he's falling back, and I think that's a mistake. And Blast Shield is sucking up all this mass. Look, engineers are already there. On the top side, Blast has not done anything. He's got some tanks around. Oh wow, there's a lot of reclaim here. But Thomas has actually taken all the mexes. And Blast just got another vet. He's at 8,000. Thomas gets his. He's at 10k. He has to keep fighting here, but Blast is stealing all the mass. This submarine is just raiding so many mexes. See, can come back down here and kill some more. Thomas is in full retreat. He's just falling back to his base, giving up all the reclaim. He has a T2 mechs. He has T2 land, but he's losing his mechs at the top now. He's lost control of this area, and Blast Shield is ahead on reclaim. Thomas taking mid. That's quite good. There's some mass here to grab. Quite a lot of mass actually. You can see the PDs, the significant amounts. The T1A got overkilled, so less mass left there. And still the gun commanders are fighting. Thomas with 96 kills. Blast Shield trying to catch up. He has 50 kills now. Half of Thomas, 100 to 50. And we have Ilshavo. They are perfect overcharge targets for Blast Shield. But he doesn't have storage. He has no storage, so he needs it badly. Otherwise these Ilshavo are going to do a huge amount of work. You can see the mix of Zooies is very heavy. I thought he might be even half and half, but he does have quite a few tanks. And he just keeps pushing Thomas back and taking the reclaim. At the top side, still nothing invested for Blast, and that's a real problem. Now Thomas doesn't have the mexes. He needs to grab them, but again, still all the focus is on the gun commanders. They're just microing back and forth, shooting each other constantly. Thomas changes to the units now. And there goes an Ilshi to an overcharge. So Thomas needs to avoid this ACU as much as possible with the Ilshis, try to keep them out of range. Sort of maybe use them on the top side up here and have the commander lower down. Anything so that the Ilshis can just work on the units without fear of being overcharged. But Blast Shield is searching for these Ilshis, and another one gets overcharged. Blast Shield getting very low on units now. Has to be careful. Thomas has his 5th vet. He's overcharging the commander. He has significantly more HP. And it looks like Blast Shield is going to have to retreat somewhat. The map control on top is non-existent on both ends, but look at the reclaim. A moment ago we were at, I think, 5.5 to 4k favor Blast Shield. Now Blast Shield has 8.8 thousand, and still Thomas under 4.5k. You can see where the difference is. Look at this reclaim field. This is the most important part of the map right now, and Blast Shield has engineers, a lot of them, right here ready and waiting to start reclaiming. And he's keeping his ACU in the fight, looking to get his final vet level and hold the position. No engineers in the area for Thomas, and Blast Shield is also grabbing these PD wrecks with his engineers in mid, and also reclaiming territory on top. He's just got another 1,000 reclaim since I last mentioned the numbers. He's at 10k now, and he is spending all of these resources, adding more build power along the way as he needs it. You can see forward factories, and he has his final vet as well. He's on 10k health. Thomas only very slightly more, and Thomas has far less units. And these subs, well, these subs are definitely not worth it. And the reclaim field is already being sucked up by Blast Shield. 11k reclaim now. Thomas still on 4.4. And it looks bad for Thomas. I think he could draw at many points. This would definitely be the time to go for a draw. Just focus on that ACU, but now Blast Shield is retreating with his commander. He knows he's far ahead now. In fact, he can see what Thomas has. He's killed the bottom side, broke off some of his units here. Broke off units to go to the top and finish that off and take control. Units in mid. And he knows he's far ahead. Maybe time to... Well, he can do anything now. He's just finishing off any semblance of map control that Thomas had, and he just needs to make sure his commander doesn't die, which is not going to be too difficult. Now actually going after Thomas's commander, as he sees he's alone. Gotta be careful that he doesn't get drawn, but I think he'll be fine. Thomas retreats. And Thomas gives in. Control case. If you look at the score, Blast Shield has the lower score. 30k score to 32. Look at the kills ratio. Better for Blast Shield, for sure. But the main thing is the reclaim. Blast Shield barely had more total mass, just barely, but in reclaim he had a lot more. And yeah, these subs were not a good investment. Very expensive. And yeah, I think retreating early on when he had a lot of HP and he was standing on a reclaim field. Thomas retreated, gave up the reclaim. I think at that point, that was the beginning of the end. And certainly both players could have done better on the top side, but they're very focused on their gun battle, understandably. But some PDs and stuff, a few more units. See, there's a ton of reclaim here to grab. But and also mid certainly could have been better exploited. Some buildings to reclaim as well, but overall Blast Shield did well. The classic strategy of just push your opponent back, just fight attritionally, but have your engineers right there reclaiming your tanks as they're dying. That's pretty effective if you can do that. You're gonna win a lot of games, and Blast Shield won this one, despite being quite far behind at some points early on. So well played. And GG. See you next time, guys.